Craig Thomson used an hour-long speech to Parliament today to savage the credibility of his accusers, attacking both the opposition and the media for denying him proper legal process. Mr Thomson's emotions ranged from tears to anger as the former Labor MP expanded on his claims that he's a victim of an elaborate conspiracy. His critics described his defence as the desperate act of a desperate man. Political correspondent Tom Eagleton reports from Canberra.
The showdown began at high noon.
I give the call to the member for Dobell.
Craig Thomson started by reading some recent correspondence to his office.
Go cut your wrists, or better still, hang yourself. Go out the back, cut your throat. That's the only way.
He blamed first the opposition, then the media.
You have unleashed the lynch mob, and you have fanned it. And for that, you all ultimately are responsible.
Even Mr Thomson's detractors say they're concerned about the personal toll of the media attention on him. Today, it showed.
What you don't expect is Channel 7 reporters to be hovering underneath the bathroom window. While my pregnant wife is having a shower. There is a responsibility, a great responsibility in reporting.
But mixed with distress, there was anger, which settled on the opposition leader.
And in our courts, all men are created equal. That applies in this country. And you have trashed that. What you have done is not just damage to an individual or their family. You have damaged democracy, and you continue to damage democracy, and you should hang your head in shame for that. What it shows of the leader of the opposition, that man, is that not only is he unfit to be a Prime Minister, in my view, he's unfit to be an MP.
Few of Mr Thomson's former Labor colleagues stayed to hear him maintain his innocence. Outside Canberra, his former union colleagues tuned in.
I sure did.
Can you give us your reaction?
My reaction is that it's totally pathetic and delusional.
Mr Thomson's defence turned to attack by calling into question the credibility of high-profile HSU boss Cathy Jackson.
This certainly isn't someone who comes to this issue with clean hands.
Under the cover of parliamentary privilege, which protects him from legal action, he alleged Ms Jackson took overseas trips on union money, inflated her pay, took kickbacks and destroyed documents. He also pointed out her lover is the Vice President of Fair Work Australia, which detailed the damning allegations against him in its recent report.
The question Fair Work has to answer, the questions the Deputy President has to answer is what influence did he have in relation to the writing of the report? What relationship, if any, does he have with the Liberal Party?
My partner's part of the Vice President of Fair Work Australia. He has nothing to do with the regulatory arm. This is just another smear by Craig Thomson. He's got nothing else to grasp at.
Mr Thomson now claims Ms Jackson was amongst the group of HSU officials that sought to destroy his career, angry at his attempts to improve transparency at the union. He claims one threat was delivered in public at the HSU National Office by this man, HSU official Marco Bolano.
This was a threat that started in Cathy Jackson's office. The rant went right down the corridor, was witnessed by many people, then was also the subject of a report. A letter was written to the Jacksons and to Michael Williamson complaining about this incident and putting, very importantly, this instance on record.
Mr Bolano admits he did complain about Mr Thomson's behaviour at the union.
I did have a conversation with his brother. It wasn't a complimentary conversation, but there were no threats made to set him up. And indeed, obviously, I never took such action.
Cathy Jackson denies the incident entirely.
Complete fantasy that never occurred. There was never any discussion or letter.
Were you part of a plot to destroy his career?
Of course not.
What do you think?
I think he's doing a great job on that on his own.
When it came to the specifics of the allegations against him, Mr Thomson admitted he couldn't fully explain how a landline in his hotel room was used to call an escort agency, but added that the Fair Work investigation into him hadn't considered potential innocent explanations.
For example, on many occasions, I would book all the hotel rooms at a particular conference that we would have.
Elsewhere, Mr Thomson repeated the defence he outlined leading up to today's speech. The opposition, though, says he skipped key accusations and is threatening to sanction him for misleading Parliament. Meanwhile, Cathy Jackson says she wants a chance to address Parliament to rebut the allegations Craig Thomson made about her. Tom Iggulden, Lateline.